Hello everyone, this is UAPalm, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial of the 2x2 Rubik's Cube. So the 2x2 Rubik's Cube is essentially a 3x3, but with just the corners. So the only difference between a 2x2 and a 3x3 is that there aren't any center pieces and there aren't any edge pieces. So this is just corners. So, for example, let's just do a random scramble on this 3x3. So if this was a 2x2, it would actually be solved right now, because as you can see, the corners are solved. So all the corners kind of make like this shape. So if this was a 2x2, it would be solved. So the main things that you need to know about a 2x2 is the notation, and that is like reading algorithms and stuff. So at the moment, if I said, oh, this algorithm is R prime FRF R U2 R prime UR U2 R prime, you'll like, if you haven't ever solved one of these cubes before, then you probably have no idea what that means. So I'm just going to get into that right now. So there are three main notations that you need to know for 2x2. There are six, but you don't really need to use those. So there is R. So a letter on its own is turning that face 90 degrees clockwise. So there is R. So R. There's U. There's L, there's F, there's B, there's D, and there's U. So if there is a little apostrophe next to that letter, then it's that same face anti-clockwise. So R and R prime, U, U prime, D, D prime, L, L prime, F, F prime, B, B prime. I might have repeated one of those twice, doesn't matter. So that is the basic notation. There is also, if there is a little 2 next to the letter, then you turn that face twice. So U2, R2, L2, D2, U2, F2, B2. So let's get into it. So this is going to be the very easiest method for the 2x2. So what you'll have to do is you make a layer like that, and then you complete the yellow face, and then you permutate this face, so you move the pieces in the yellow around, and then it's solved. So we're going to be doing the white face first. So you need to know a little algorithm, which is R prime D prime R D. So I'm trying to get this piece to here. So this piece, I know it needs to go here because So when you see it matches up, these two colors are the same. So I'm just going to do the algorithm: R prime D prime R D, R prime D prime R D, R prime D prime R D. And now, so for example, this piece doesn't go here because none of these colors, so neither of these colors match up with this. So you know it needs to go here. well, it needs to go here. So when you have put it under where it needs to go, you do R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D, R prime, D prime, R, D. And now this piece obviously needs to go here, so you just do R prime, D prime, R, D, 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 R prime, D prime, R, D. Whew. And now we're on the top layer, so you need to repeat this algorithm over and over again on the top layer, occasionally like rotate it so that eventually you get this. So you've got a yellow here, yellow here, yellow here, and yellow here. And then you can do this algorithm. R, U, R prime. U, R, U2, R prime. What will usually happen is you'll get something like this, where you've got two colours here that are the same. So you need to match those up to get a face like that. And then do this algorithm. R prime, F, R, F prime. R, U2, R prime. U, R, U2, R prime. But if you didn't get any of the same colours, then you need to just do the algorithm once, and then match it up, and then do the algorithm again. R prime, F, R, F prime. R, U2, R prime. U, R, U2, R prime. And that is the basic tutorial on how to solve a 2x2 Rubik's Cube. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, I guess. Hey.